Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Amna Khatoon. The topic of today's lecture is the last part of the gene expression, that is translation, the protein synthesis. Before going into the details of the lecture, first please notice the outline of the lecture that include requirements for the protein synthesis, that are messenger RNA, ribosomes, transfer RNA. Then we will discuss about the attachment of amino acids to the transfer RNA, that include enzymes and process of charging. There are mainly three steps of the translation that include initiation of the translation, elongation, and termination of the translation. Dear students, if you remember, this is the summary of the previous two lectures, that was the replication and transcription. Here we can see this is the DNA template, and this DNA template has to copy its message in the form of the messenger RNA. This is the copied messenger RNA after transcription, and this is the messenger RNA, mature messenger RNA after post-transcriptional modifications. After these modifications, this mature RNA will come into the cytoplasm through the nuclear pores, and here is in the cytoplasm, here is the machinery for the protein synthesis for the gene expression, that is known as the ribosome. And here the whole process of protein synthesis or translation will occur. Now about the details of the translation. First of all, the definition of translation. Translation is the process of turning messenger RNA into protein. It is translation from one language, that is the language of messenger RNA or the language of the nucleotides, to a second language, that are the amino acids. Genetic code. Genetic code, a sequence of 3 nucleotides that is translated to an amino acids of the protein called the genetic code. Actually, the genetic message on the messenger RNA is present in the form of the genetic code. Here we can see these are the triplets of 3 nucleotides. For example, this is GCU, again CGU, GAU. These are the triplets of 3 nucleotides encoding for their corresponding amino acids, and this is known as the genetic code. And this is the complete sequence of the RNA, messenger RNA. Degenerate genetic code, the degenerate DNA code. The codon is degenerate. The quality of the genetic code is that it's degeneracy, meaning thereby nucleotides read 3 at a time, meaning that there are 64 combinations for a codon. Dear students, if you remember, we have read about 4 different kinds of bases based on which there are 4 different kinds of nucleotides. And here we have read that the genetic code consists of 3 nucleotides. So, based on this calculation, there would be 64 combinations for a codon. But the reality is that we only have 20 different kinds of amino acids. So, it means more than one codon per amino acid. It means that genetic code is the degenerate. This is known as the degeneracy of the genetic code. For example, here we can see these are 4 genetic codes, including GCU, GCG, GCC, and GCA. All these 4 genetic codes are coding for the alanine. And again, these are the 6 codons. All these 6 codons are coding for the arginine. However, few exceptions are there, that are the methionine and tryptophan. They are the least abundant amino acid in the proteins, and they are encoded by only one genetic code, only one codon. These are the AUG encoding the methionine and UGG encoding the tryptophan. These are encoded by only one codon, and rest of all the other amino acids, they are coded by more than one codons, and their codon is the degenerate. The next requirement for the protein synthesis include transfer RNA molecule. Translation requires an adapter molecule that recognizes the codon on messenger RNA and at a distant site carries the appropriate amino acid. Intra-strand base pairing allows for this characteristic shape. Anticodon is opposite from where the amino acid attached. Here we can see the single-stranded structure of the transfer RNA molecule. This particular shape of this single-strand structure is because of the intra-base pairing. And here we can see this is the 3' end, and this is the site where the amino acid get attached. and opposite to the 3' side, opposite to this side, there is the place for the anti-codon. This is the site where the codon is recognized by its corresponding anti-codon. Attachment of amino acid to transfer RNA molecule. Amino acid transfer RNA synthase is the enzyme responsible for linking the amino acid to the transfer RNA. A specific enzyme for each amino acid and not for the transfer RNA. So we should note this point that this enzyme, that is the amino acid transfer RNA synthase, this enzyme is specific to its corresponding amino acid. It's not it's not specific for its corresponding transfer RNA. So specificity is determined by the amino acid and the enzyme, not by the transfer RNA and the enzyme. Ribosomes. The next requirement for the protein synthesis is the ribosome. It's a complex machinery that controls protein synthesis that include two subunits. One is the large that catalyzes the peptide bond formation, and the other is small which binds with the messenger RNA and transfer RNA. And chemically, the ribosome contains protein and ribosome and RNA. If you remember, the RNA present in the ribosome is the ribosomal RNA, and it's central to the catalytic activity. Here we can see this is the smaller subunit, this is the larger subunit, and this is the whole complex. That is the ribosomal subunit. Attachment sites on ribosomes. Now, dear students, this point is to be noted. It's a very important point that there are specific sites for the attachment of various molecules on the ribosome. For example, on the smaller subunit, we can see this is the site for the attachment of messenger RNA. At this site, messenger RNA get attached with the ribosome. And on the larger subunit, there are other three specific sites that are A, P, and E site. And this is the A site for the amino acid site, P is the peptidyl site, while E is the exit site. The P site, called the peptidyl site, the site where the first charge transfer RNA attaches. It binds to the transfer RNA, holding the growing polypeptide chain of amino acid. So, it's clear from the statement that on P site, the first initiator transfer RNA with its corresponding initiator amino acid will attach on the P site. So, all the other amino acids after initiation, all the other amino acid and their transfer RNA will get attached to the A site. However, the first attachment of the initiation complex is on the P site. The A site, the acceptor site, binds to the amino acyl transfer RNA which hold the new amino acid to be added to the polypeptide chain. And third site, that is the E site, from where the transfer RNA get exit after attaching its amino acid with growing polypeptide chain at P site. Ribosomal assembly. The initiation phase. This is the initiation of the translation process. Initiation factors, these are the particular specific proteins that are involved in the initiation process and known as initiation factors. Catalyze the step 1. Small ribosomal subunit with the initiation factors find the start codon AUG. The ribosomal subunit moves from the 5' to 3' on messenger RNA. Initiator transfer RNA brings its the first amino acid, which is always methionine, and then can bind the messenger RNA. We can see here, this is the initiator transfer RNA with its initiator amino acid, that is the methionine, and it gets attached to the small ribosomal subunit with the help of the initiation factors. After this binding, this small complex will get attached to the messenger RNA, and now this small complex will move on the messenger RNA towards the 3' end to find the initiation codon, that is AUG. When it finds its AUG, initiation codon, it fixes itself on this codon. Here we can see. After this initiation process, what will happen in the next phase? In the step 2 phase, the initiation factors leaves and then large subunit can bind. Protein synthesis continues, meaning thereby after the attachment of this initiation complex on the initiation codon AUG, the initiation factors dissociate. They released from the complex and the larger subunit came to bind with this initiation complex. And then the ribosomes will move on the messenger RNA in the direction of 3' and the process of translation would be repeated. Methionine is at the start of every protein until post-translational modification take place. So methionine is always the start amino acid and until the post-translational modification take place. Here we can see that elongation phase is in process. Protein release. Protein released when a stop codon is encountered. Before discussing about the stop codon, I would like to discuss that this is the polypeptide chain because the elongation process has been repeated many times, and now after the completion of all the message, now the ribosomes has arrived on a place where the codon is a stop codon. We have read about the stop codon. There are three different kind of stop codon that are UAG, UAA and UGA. Whenever any one of these codon will come on the A site, in response to this codon, there would be no amino acid to respond to this codon. However, there would be some release factor. So we can see here on this A site, there are stop codon UAG sequence, that is the one of the stop codon. So it means the message has been completely translated, protein has been synthesized. This we can see the polypeptide chain, protein has been synthesized and now it has to be finished. So in response to UAG, some release factor will come and bind itself to this codon. Cytoplasmic release factor bind to the stop codon that gets to the A site and adds water molecule instead of the amino acid. Protein released and the ribosome breaks into two subunits to move on to another messenger RNA. After this release of polypeptide chain and after addition of the water molecule on this site, now this complex would be disassembled, meaning thereby that larger subunit will be separated and smaller subunit separate and messenger RNA would get separated, and now these ribosome subunits are ready to attach with another messenger RNA and translate it. So students, these were the structural detail about the protein synthesis, that how proteins are synthesized. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the function of the proteins. Here are a few reference books and some online references which you can discuss for the further details. Thank you very much.